Alright, so now we have the video of our accelerating truck, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create the data points using that video. So at the top you see there's two tabs. It says points and origin and scale. By default it should be on points, and if it's not, obviously select that. In the bottom right hand corner there is a track option. This means that the program will automatically track the object for you. Unfortunately though, in my past attempts, this has never worked properly and has always screwed up the data, so definitely do not use this option, okay? So a couple basic things. You have the bullseye here, which is what we're going to use to track the object. This is kind of a click, hold, and drag feature. And then what you can also do with this is you can pinch zoom. So sometimes if you can't see if it's too far away, you can pinch zoom the screen, and then you can obviously zoom back out as well. Mine's pretty close, so I'm not really going to zoom in that much on it, but just for future labs you can definitely zoom in and zoom out to make it easier with the bullseye and tracking. Alright, so the bullseye. The center dot is what we want to use to track, so you could take it up to, let's say, the top part of the windshield, whatever you want to call it here, and then you could track that. However, since my car has a circular shape with the tires or even the hubcaps, I'm going to track that, and what's really cool is I'm going to put in the center, but if I don't really know it's the center, what's nice is on the left side of this bullseye, you see the scroll option. This can actually reshape the size of the circle, and then that makes it a little bit easier to know you're exactly in the center of the hubcap. It's a really useful tool to take your time with, just so that your data points are as accurate as they can be. So I really like to take my time with this part, because if your data points are good, the graph will be beautiful. Alright, so once you have it aligned up and that looks like it's pretty centered, all you do is then tap the bullseye. Alright, now what it does by default that you couldn't notice is it actually then goes one frame forward. Well, why didn't it look like it went a frame forward is because my video didn't have the cart moving for a couple seconds. I don't like to track data points when the object isn't moving, because then I'm just making data points on top of one another, which is useless. So I'm going to move the bullseye away, the little target, and I'm going to delete this data point. Be patient with this. Unfortunately, this is something that can be very frustrating because it's sensitive, but you have to tap the data point, and luckily it worked for me on the first time. And then once it lights up, which it may take a couple attempts, and again, don't get frustrated, just hit delete, and then you're back to the beginning. Alright? Now, I didn't want to track anything until the car started moving, so I'm going to use the features in the bottom of the screen in the middle there. I'm going to hit play. And then I hit pause, but I can actually use the one with the counterclockwise arrow to go back frame by frame. And you can see it's moving back frame by frame. And I'm going to go back pretty much to the beginning, the last place I see it move. And it looks like I turned it on right about there. And now I'm going to hit the other one with the clockwise arrow just to make sure that it is moving. And actually I'm going to get it out of my hand as well, because I don't like it when my hand's touching it. So it looks like I release it about there, at least my little grip with fingers. And now I'm ready to track some data. So what I'm going to do is bring the bullseye around the hubcap again. And watch what happens when I tap the bullseye. It should go forward a frame, so we should see the car move a little bit. So what's nice is the program will actually move to the next frame for you. However, it's not really that noticeable since my car is moving so slow. So I could track another data point here, but then I'm going to have a cluster of data points that are just really, really close and be hard to know what's going on. So what I like to do, and as long as you're consistent, you can do this, is I like to hit the one with the clockwise arrow around it and maybe just skip forward 2 more frames. So that would be 3 in total. So it already did one automatically for me, so I'm going to hit the one with the clockwise once and then another one. So I actually skip forward 3 frames. Now again, I can circle the hubcap. And again, when I hit the bullseye, it should do 1 frame automatically for me. And then what I need to do though is I need to stay consistent and skip 2 more. So 1, 2. Hit this again. So that was the automatic one. 1, 2. And I would repeat this process for about at least 10 data points. 15 is nice to have as well, because then your graph will just be beautiful. For the sake of this video tutorial's length, I'm not going to keep tracking anymore. But once you have 10 to 15 data points, what I want you to do is then take a screenshot of all of the data points that you have. And then you will be able to upload that onto the document on PDF Expert that you'll then submit to Canvas. So go ahead, take the video of your crank truck that you have, start tracking the data points, and then when you're satisfied with the data points that you have, take a screenshot so that you can upload it to the lab.